And that's what this got me. I decided that I was going to find whoever did that and they were going to pay. And I made them pay dearly. I caught them. I caught most of them.
Good.
There's one still out there. His name's Eli.
Mm.
But I don't think he wasn't the main one. I caught the
Yeah.
main one. I threw him off a cliff. That's how dirty I got. And then I went down and I ate lunch right in front of him as he died. I ate a sandwich and I looked at him and I said, well, this is what you get. And then I realized that, oh, it just wasn't who I was supposed to be.
Yeah.
Because all them feelings back at the war and how I felt when I left that and what I saw, they all come back to me.
Well,
And then I found you again, you and your lovely family, and you've helped me out immensely.
I'm glad we can. That I don't know if I'd have had the stones to throw someone like that, but
Oh,
it's
I buried one of his friends alive. I was very, very evil at that moment.
oh yeah, imagine.
They
Well,
deserved it, though, Jerome. They
mm,
deserved it.
I believe it. I believe you. Yes, I mean, there's all kinds of evil out there now.
Yes, there
I
seems to be.
I know what you're talking about. The time of the war, and then the latter part of the war, and the after. It's just madness. There's well, he kind of looks up over quietly. It's like, all right, no, they're. I think they're asleep. And I tell you, something happened to me not too long ago. And there's still things out there. I still don't know exactly what they are. They're kind of defying description, really. But I'm gonna see what I can do to tell you a little bit. About I
What
want
kind
to
of
say
stuff you?
better.
What
Hmm?
kind of stuff you talking about? You talking about them Walking Dead?
Kind of. This is well. This is kind of, I guess. Abigail calls this a ghost story more than anything else, I guess. But she still didn't believe me. But so about better part of a year ago, we had a kind of a be a bit strong a word to call it a dispute, um, but sort of a sort of had to clear up some a border issue over at Maddox's place next door. He basically we got a creek that
I
goes
saw the
between
creek
us, and
out
it's
there. I
yeah.
saw that. Yeah.
Well, it's pretty much dried up almost at this point, so we're gonna it's we're looking at putting in fencing and all that. We were looking at putting in fencing, and so
Well, you talk about raising cattle, huh?
yeah, well, yeah. We started a little bit. That's where we're working on it.
Oh hell,
But we're yeah. Is that he's already got cattle, and so we just want to make sure we're good. So I had to go down to down south to Roswell to was going to meet up with Judge Sloan down there to get uh, sort of the land rights just sorted out and made sure we've got that everything. We wanted to make absolutely sure that it's like divided at the creek. We can make
sure,
sure we
sure. You
got
will get
everything's
you
right.
right, right, right.
There was a little overlap,
You need me
basically.
help you out with that? I can get you a little bit more land if you want it.
Well, let's not let's not jump the gun here. Maddox can be an ass when he drinks, but I don't want to. He's not that bad.
Okay,
Uh,
sure.
but no, we I went south along the old miners road, um, and it was
Damn, you tongue tied. You must
well,
have saw something spooked you.
was getting on. So if everything's fine until I went, until I went through that old mine in town. That's just this. That's less than a day south of here. After that, well, so the road down there sort of stretches. It winds and it goes up and down. And after a little bit, I started, and it was dusk. It was a little after dusk. It felt like I heard somebody. another horse behind me. But, I kept looking back, didn't see a damn thing. Felt like it was pretty close, but and then it kept, kept closer and farther away and closer and farther away. Still couldn't see a damn thing. Leastways, not till nightfall. Finally, started to say, I was getting sick of it. I sped up. Finally, because I knew there was a hill coming up. I got up on top of the hill, and I looked back, and I see this. It's just like a shadow of a rider.
A shadow.
Well, that's the thing. I can only see like a silhouette. I wasn't clear on exactly who or what it was. Looked like a man on a horse, but just kept. I kept seeing it behind me, and it's the thing. It's as I got up off them, I had to go down the hill, go around a few bends, tried to speed up a little bit, kept hearing it behind me. Next hill I got up on, I looked back, couldn't see a damn thing again. It was pretty dark by then, but
Did you pull your gun out? I'm sure you pulled your gun out.
I had my gun. Yeah, I had my gun ready, but kept hearing it getting closer and closer. I got up to a third hill, and I stopped, and I was waiting. Then nothing. Because it sounded almost like it was on top of me. Then nothing.
It just went quiet.
Went quiet.
Did you check for tracks?
I did. I looked around. I was well. I wanted to make Roswell before it got too late, but I did look around a little bit. I didn't see a damn thing. Turn around, start heading back, and I speed up because I figure, okay, I'm just gonna try and get there.
Right, of course. Hell yeah.
And then I hear the galloping. Just up a bit behind. I look behind, don't see a damn thing. I speed up, it speeds up. Tried slowing down a little, it slowed down. Finally got to the point I was just sick of it. I pulled out my gun and I fired behind me to see if it would warn it off. And it seemed to. But then after I turned around the next bend, that's when I heard it galloping, and it's like it was right just on my right flank.
You shit your britches, didn't you?
Almost. Practically. Started bolting and going as fast as I could, looking. And it wasn't until finally I got past a clump of trees, the thing came out. And I could see him coming up alongside me. It was
what did he look like?
Shrouded kind of fella. That's the thing. He was hooded, but it was like he was hooded, but he was tied up, like his clothes were bound closer to him with rope. He had a pair of guns I could see coming up with, like, I don't know, the one on this side of the horse looked like it had a blade or something at the end. He had the reins of his horse in one hand and a dangling noose in the other.
What? I've heard somebody tell me a story about that too.
Well, this fella, couldn't see him, couldn't see his face. Saw his horse pretty well. Jet black, had a streak of white in the mane. And I, kept trying to kept the gun out, just try to yell, warn him off as I was getting but didn't hear nothing except, this occasional just chuckle. And I finally sped up, finally made it up to this bridge, the last bridge before Roswell. And I was hearing firing behind me, gunfire. Seemed to take out took out one of the slats on the bridge just to my right. I bolted across that damn thing.
You're lucky to be alive.
I get to the other end, though. Yeah, that's the thing. Get to the other end, nothing. Turn around, there's nobody there. Thing is, I was right at Roswell at that point. Got in finally. The next morning, went up to try and find Judge Sloan. And they informed me that they had found him hanged the day prior out on the trail. No clue as to who did it. And Judge Sloan had plenty of folks mad at him. But all they found come in was his horse, which, as it happened, stable went too far away. They pointed it out as because it was getting led away. And it was this, I could almost swear it's the same damn horse, jet black, white streak in its mane.
I'll be. Did you tell anybody?
Well, you've seen the kind of stuff we've seen. You sort of get a feeling for how safe it is to tell folks that kind of stuff. Told Abigail when I got back, she wasn't having it. But I know one thing. I know I'm gonna remember that for as long as I can. And then also, a few times I go out. Every now and then, if I go out at night, I get real jumpy. I hear hoofbeats. Sometimes I turn and I don't see a damn thing. I do not appreciate being stalked, but I figure ain't done anything to me at this point, so just sort of want to let ghosts lie.
He sticks his rifle up. He said, "Well, I'll tell you what. That son bitch comes around here, we'll take care of him." I hope. And he takes another shot.
Yeah. Here's hoping.
What you fix to eat tonight? I'm starving.
Good evening and welcome to Deadlands. I'm Marshall Jim. Some folks call me Doc. And that was a little ways ago. And to conclude that evening, they had steak. It was a delight. Anyway.
Ribeyes.
I'm going to go around and say hi to everybody in the posse today. And we're going to go clockwise, and we will start with Pope. Hello.
Hey everybody, Pope here. Well, we just dealt with the scavenger, and last I checked, we're going to be coming to in this nice little commune on our way to Desperation. A number of things were revealed, and I have a feeling there's a lot of conversations that need to happen. Hopefully they go well.
We'll see. And as we continue around, let's head over to Greg. Hello.
Hi, everybody. Grimjack21502. I'm going to be playing the Outlaw, Willie Kenner. He's good at a few things. You already know 2 of them. Stick around for number 3. Back to you, Jim.
Awesome. Looking forward to it. And hi, Lauren.
Oh, Hi, I've just been sitting here quietly and calmly as I always do, and you can't prove otherwise. I'm Lauren. I'm that salty ginger over on Twitter, part of the Tales from the Grim team here on the Twitch. And I'm playing Valentine DuPont. Totally normal, nothing to talk about. Stab, 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 the end.
That's right. Absolutely normal stabbery. Nothing more wholesome. And finally, Stephen, hello.
Hey Jim, how you doing? I am playing Elijah DuPont. I'm U.S. Marshal. He just witnessed his sister flying in the air with some birds and taking out whatever the hell that was. So
who's your sister? She sounds cool.
She is cool. She's very cool. Cool. So he is definitely interested in the town and what the town may offer and why they're in the town. So he's got to do some searching. So just to figure out why.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit of searching. And then apparently we're supposed to flash forward to Desperation. I don't know. That's how it was told to me. So.
We'll see how things go. And unfortunately, our wonderful nun Dot could not be with us tonight as she's got stuff she's got to deal with, and we hope all is well. But here we are. So it is evening time in the settlement, and we are at, once again, this is Pinion Hill. In the aftermath of dealing with the this individual, the scavenger, which was apparently masquerading as a fellow named Crackle, who's kind of held the citizens in terror for the better part of the last year. Apparently, there was much that needed to be done. The sister, before retiring for the evening, secured lodging for everyone. So that's not going to be a problem. They do have some communal bedding and what have you. But what would you folks like to do as they're now starting to they're kind of sort of the townsfolk have gotten over the initial shock of everything, and they're now, they're preparing food for you if you would like to have something.
Jim, I just want communal bedding.
It's not exactly like a boarding house per se, but sometimes they have there's this sort of a barracks type deal, basically.
Like a bunkhouse.
Bunkhouse. There we go.
Great.
That's the word. That's the term.
Great. Wonderful.
No, and so unfortunately, it's not that cool a commune.
Didn't think it was.
It's like summer camp.
Yes, that's it. Summer camp.
Horrible summer camp with crows and birds and they eat you.
I was going to say, Jim, the very first thing that that Willie does is he walks over to the dock and he looks at Erasmus and he says, looks around at the absolute carnage of former cultists and downed avian creatures, and takes a long drag of his cigarette. I ain't digging holes for all these things.
That's what the good folk that you saved get to do.
I'm stating it before you and before the Lord Almighty that we ain't digging holes for all this. We ain't helping. We ain't even like, if someone hands me a rake to pick up feathers or something, it ain't happening.
If we're raking anything, it's feathers, it's to burn them. This is a lot worse than I thought. A lot worse. Oh boy. Anyway, no, you're damn right. You've already done your work. Try and get something to eat. I've got too much paperwork ahead of me.
That's pretty ballsy, man.
No, that was protocol, and that didn't work.
We're all getting older and not colder. I think it did work.
Eh?
Just as a reminder for folks, last week, Erasmus declared to everyone very loudly that he is a U.S. agent. And so that was a thing that what got revealed. And toward the end, something strange happened also, but we won't go into too much detail about that right now. We'll see if the characters want to.
What strange thing happened?
I don't know. It was all perfectly normal as far as I was aware. Birds
Okay.
got very friendly.
Val is just smoking. Chilling.
Where's Val chilling? Close to Erasmus and Willie, or
Why not?
lurking off by herself?
No, I don't lurk.
So, Miss DuPont, care to share with the rest of the class as to how you were able to get your little friends to carry you up to hit the scavenger?
These are the
Crazy
same.
random happenstance.
Wait. These are the same little friends that were killing themselves trying to get to Elijah up on the second floor of the barn. And when I mean killing themselves, I mean slamming into wood and shit. And anybody stepped outside, we got the shit pecked out of us. But you get picked up and carried like a queen on a litter.
They surrounded me. Did you not see that? I'm just very fast.
Oh, well, I don't care how you did it. I thought it was pretty shiny.
We don't deal in coincidences.
Not a
There's a-
coincidence. It's animals just like me.
Why do they?
Maybe I
just
smell
happen?
good.
I know a trap when I see one, Miss DuPont. I'm not walking into that one.
You want to just put a toe in, maybe? Or something else?
I'll leave that for some others. Not me. But
Yeah, it ain't me either.
That was some of the craziest shit I ever seen, Val.
No. You hate when people outperform you, Willie.
I just hope I never live to see it.
You won't.
all right, I thought I was going to be, all sorts of, just taking things easy, but no. No, I see now that this is all going to be one giant fiasco. Okay, I guess, yeah, no, this is one of those things that they taught me back east. This is what you all refer to a coming to Jesus meeting. Right. Okay.
I wouldn't
Okay.
sweat it, Doc.
No, there's sweating involved because one, Miss DuPont here is a practitioner of some sort. I can't put my finger on what. And there's enough weird stuff going on that I would feel guilty if you didn't know precisely just how screwed we all are.
I don't mind being screwed, Doc.
This is
You
a
want? We
different
could
kind.
rank each other.
See all these dead birds? They look like they're more screwed than we are, Doc.
No, this is more in the biblical sense, and not the fun kind of biblical.
There's a fun kind of biblical.
Yes,
No,
but
it can't be.
that's Genesis. We'll talk about that later. No. This has to do with Miss DuPont, Willie, your history with a certain someone. That's why I'm here.
Well, this wasn't it. This was...
No, this is a symptom of where he goes.
Where who goes?
The man that killed your gang.
Willie, you've been telling everybody everything.
No, he's been very tight-lipped, and for that I thank him immensely.
What kind of man is this we're talking about here?
One that isn't dead, yet should be.
Well, that's a lot of fuckers.
No. Like, Not that he should be in the legal sense or moral sense. He should be because motherfucker's taking enough shots to be to drop a hippo or a goddamn dinosaur or something. Should be dead. But he ain't.
No. His name is Stone. And I'm
You two
fairly
know
certain-
him?
I don't know him except by reputation. And his reputation is that he is the one individual, not a man, he was one, who has killed more individuals than anybody else on this entire continent. He's after you, Willie. And possibly Miss DuPont as well.
Let him come.
That's what I say.
But let's get to
Have a rude
Desperation
awakening.
first.
The likelihood is he's already there. Things getting this weird and this bad. An individual who's committed that much evil leaves a wake. We're walking in that wake right now. It's going to get worse. I'm telling you this because, really, we're friends. You can turn back now. I have to keep going. It's part of the job. But the rest of you don't have to. This is going to get worse.
Yeah.
Much worse.
I beg to differ, Doc. I'm with you.
You know I can't turn back, Doc. If there's
I
to
know.
be a reckoning, I'd rather I know it and see it coming than
I
turn
got
around
Barcade
one day.
for you.
That's the thing. It's not just you and possibly Miss DuPont that he's after, Willie. He's going to Desperation because of the kid.
You're throwing a lot at us here, Doc. Now there's a kid?
Yeah. This goes back to the start of our correspondence. Stone is after the child, Willie.
Child's in.
I wasn't certain of it until I saw the damn sister. She's here means the kid's in play. If the kid's in play, the kid's more than likely going to be in Desperation because that's where everything's pulling.
Shit. Well, then, there ain't no option, Doc. There ain't no turning back. There ain't no way but through. If this Stone's looking for the kid, if this Stone's in Desperation, then I need to get down there and maybe get between him and wherever he wants to be. Maybe finally make his acquaintance to a grave that he's left unfilled.
And I go where Willie goes. Someone has to keep his dumb ass alive.
And I'm going where Val goes because I can't let her go, that's for sure. Not if she's flying birds and stuff.
That's appreciated, but at the same time, you need to know what you're all getting into. Last I checked, the research on Stone, the man has killed close to 500 people, and that's the rough, low estimate. He's a specialist in killing anyone who's good with a gun, living or dead. Practitioner or not. Hell's favorite assassin is what they say.
What's this guy look like?
Tall, skinny, ugly.
That's it.
That's a lot of That's a lot of assholes out here, believe me. And he looks over at one of the villagers. Look at him. Is that the
Yeah.
guy?
No, taller, skinnier.
Taller, skinnier,
Not as
uglier? That
ugly.
guy right there?
He's the tallest, he's the skinniest, he's the ugliest.
Got it.
He also has a flair for the dramatic. Likes to wear all black.
Oh, black.
Oh, I don't know anyone like that.
She's talking about you, Willie.
Yes, he got it.
Thanks.
Elijah, he got it.
Thanks for connecting the dots for me, Elijah.
Yeah. Arithmetic was one of my best subjects.
That and note taken.
Nope, take is good too.
But now that you've all been informed and you're all dead set on this,
We ain't leaving
you
Doc.
are now contractors of the U.S. government.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. I was already
Whoa,
a contractor.
whoa.
I was already
whoa.
a contractor with the U.S. government.
I thought you were a
Yes.
bartender now.
Well, that too. I can have
Well-
a side job.
But considering everything and everything that I just told you, by a number of laws that I'm not at liberty to say, you are now contracted by the agency to act as troubleshooters for this engagement. You will be paid reasonably for your service.
Not
So-
handsomely. Not handsomely. Reasonably.
Not for you, Elijah.
Considering that's
Damn, man.
my standing orders, which is to just try and keep an eye on the lot of you and report soon as stone crops up and not engage, but I already know that that's pointless. His personal bounty is quite high if one can actually manage to collect. But in the more likely case that he crops up, you guys stop him and aid in the agency keeping tabs on him. I'll put it this way. If you were headed back east, you could buy yourself a brownstone.
Do I strike you as the brownstone type, Doc?
I got a brownstone out back there. I don't know about brown.
Come out west, they said. It'll be fun, they said.
Who said that?
Who said that dumb shit?
Somebody that's still back east.
That's a dumb fuck.
Anyway, it means that once whatever happens in desperation happens and you live, which is my plan, you all get paid. And I don't have to place so many things quite so closely to the vest. In the meantime, be on your eyes out for more weird shenanigans. It's going to get bad.
Can I ask a question, Doc?
Yeah.
What's this this guy's MO? What does he do? How do we know he's there? How do we find him? You say he's in desperation, but what are we looking for? Birds and crazy people?
Where he goes, the weird things follow. Not just birds, but, carnivorous tumbleweeds, ticks the size of small dogs. The weird stuff. That's just the things that crop up in his wake.
You mean like
That
Dead
and following a
Rising?
trail of bodies. Yes, dead occasionally just do that around him. There's a lot of other terrible things. If you experience incredibly vivid nightmares, have a moment where all of a sudden you are all at once here and then not, it's signs that he's been through. Not necessarily immediately present, but he's been through. Again, he died and was too evil to stay dead. And the thing that decided to try and inhabit him and play merry puppet with his body, word has it he was so evil that he cowed the damn thing, and now hell's demon that's in him is his servant because he's that much of a motherfucker.
So we'll probably know him if we see him then.
That's the thing. You'll have the experience of the weird around you, but until he actually wants you to see him, you won't. He's Hell's favorite assassin, Miss DuPont. If he's particularly gunning for someone, it's the people that are around them that are going to see him first, not the victim. Not unless he feels more than confident that he can call you out, you'll abide by the rules of the duel, and that he will kill you in the duel. Then, by all means, you will see him. But dueling him is folly.
I ain't never been particularly smart.
Willie,
I'm gonna just let that one hang there.
What's he want with the girl?
kid, and everything that I was able to reference back east could be any number of things. I mean, Eastern philosophy speaks of a golden child incarnate, biblical stuff. It could be prophet of some sorts. Could be any number of things. All I know is that the child is of immense importance to every side of the conflict, and I mean the conflict.
Well, what about
I
the
can't
kid, though?
pinpoint what.
Is that a good and evil kind of conflict you're talking about there, Doc?
Yes, big E, big G. Cosmological convergence. It's just a theory, but it's the best I've got to work on. And right now, if one side or the other can either get to it, get to the child, co-opt the child, game over. If the child remains in play, there's hope. But if one side sees that the other's winning, they're going to make a play for the child.
Why not just take the child out of the equation?
See, that's the thing. If the kid's out of the equation, then all their work, both sides, will be a push. And I am a gambling man, and a push is the worst thing ever. You either want to win or you want to lose.
All right, I think that's about all the things I can take. I am going to get some rest.
I'm gonna search that church.
Are you looting?
Luke, I'm searching, Val, not looting. If I find something that we can use, then it's a necessity, right? Not loot. Even though I do like loot.
Oh shit! Here comes that star on his chest speech again. This here lets me do a lot of things. It lets me loot whatever the fuck I want. It lets me kill people.
Well, good news for you, Marshall, that the good sister's asleep. Otherwise, I would feel a sermon oncoming. Since that is not...
because she's not here. That's true.
Since that is not my purview, and I am not a killjoy, have at it. But at the same time, don't upset the locals.
Oh,
They're already upset.
listen, I am a people person, a man of the people.
Oh my
and they
God.
will understand that. Right, Val? Am I not? Am I not?
You am not.
I am not. Me not? Well, I'm checking that church right there. You just all see you.
All right.
Speaking of the locals, so, you'll note that Peacock Ferns appears kind of just to your side as she shows up, and actually she seems to be speaking, just looking more directly at Hazard than anyone else as she's approaching, and says, "Oh, we got some stew ready for you if you'd like."
That sounds fantastic. If you wouldn't mind, see about gathering everyone up so I can get witness statements, because that's a thing with all of this.
Oh, that's witness statements. This is exciting. Okay, I'll go get them. And she turns and she goes to try to organize witnesses.
Willie,
Yeah.
you look spooked.
We just fought a bunch of birds. It might have some.
No, you looked spooked because of what the doc was saying.
Well, I have a heartbeat and I do breathe, and the doc is got a penchant for flowery language. It lets the imagination run wild. He's a Mark Twain, he is.
You ain't telling me something?
Nah, you heard it. You know it. We rode over Coffin in the Falls to get away from the tallest, skinniest, ugliest man in the West.
Not that.
Yeah, I'm spooked, Val. But it's the only way there can be when this feller's in play.
All right, well, if you ever feel up to sharing.
I am and always will be a giver.
No evidence.
Hey, Doc, if you need me to fill out one of those witness statements, I can always put anonymous. I don't think they're going to accept one from...
No, you're now a contractor. That means that all your paperwork I get to do.
Oh.
Wahoo!
Well, shit, I've got a lot to say then. I tell you what, it might be... I'm kidding. Here, you can sum it up. Bunch of birds, someone flew, we killed them all. Bang. Commune saved.
Yeah, no. Miss DuPont, we are very much going to have a discussion later. I'm going to need to...
I don't know that we have to.
I need to be able to at least classify you. Otherwise, I'm going to get questions from my superiors.
Oh, please do try and classify me.
That would be quite helpful, and then requires you to actually talk to me.
I am talking to you.
In private. So...
You want to talk in private?
Yes, considering you're not forthcoming.
Oh, I'm the most forthcoming person you'll ever meet, Doc.
I'm mildly afraid of that, Miss DuPont.
You
mildly
should be.
afraid. I'm going to have stew, and then I'm going to take these lovely people's witness statements, and then I'm going to sleep. This
Make
is what
sure
is
the
happening.
meat in the stew ain't bird meat.
And make sure your last witness is Peacock Ferns before you go to bed. I got a feeling.
Get that skinny, ugly guy out of here. He's creeping me out.
Good
Make-
night, everyone.
make sure-
the poor
make
guy
su-
coming back with a bushel just sort of shaking. Oh.
Make sure the
Back
stew
around.
doesn't give you a brownstone.
God damn it.
A
There
plus.
it is.
Said. It'd be
No,
fun,
that's
they said.
that's not an A plus. We sleep. We rest.
Oh, yeah,
I'm
sleep.
checking this
rise.
church first. I'm checking this
Oh,
damn
God
church.
Right.
damn it, Steve.
Stephen, yes, would you please?
I'll go to the porch of the church. I am not going in the church. Just in case
Right.
there's like cries of my God, my fingers or something. I'll run in
Sure.
and help Elijah.
So Stephen, you should be able to see the deck of cards. If you would please draw a card from there, and I would like to see what suit it is, and that will help tell me a little bit about what you find in there.
Just one, correct?
Just one card, yeah. All right.
What do I do? Click 9 of hearts.
Okay.
That's a good one. I like the
Where
9
is
of
it?
hearts.
I can't see it. It's gone. Oh, there it is. Oh, you've got it. Okay, I got you. All right. Let's see. Do hearts. Okay.
Can you see it
Yeah.
now?
Okay. I'm going to roll a die real quick. All right. Well, there it is. Okay. Holy crap. Okay. Yeah. So inside the church, it's it looks as though it's sort of your standard. It looks like your standard church at first glance. That you've got the pews lined up. There is sort of a slightly raised area, a little toward the front, and a pulpit. There's not really anything in the way of an altar. There aren't any. There aren't really, like I said, any particular religious markings in here. As you sort of come looking through, you're going to find just sort of behind the pulpit, as you sort of wander through, there is a sack, basically a little of a sort of bundle of stuff, and and you're and you kind of sort of go in, and there's a it looks like it's a bundle of belongings from some folks who have traveled through and perhaps did not make it.
Oh.
So there's money. There's some money in there. What looks like
Elijah pockets some money.
yeah, basically some sort of there are like a couple of books, and there are some things like cigarettes and hardtack and stuff that people would take with you on a trip.
But nothing of interest.
Nothing really major. I will. I will kind of say that that there is sort of actually make a notice roll for me if you would, please, and let's see
Yep,
how much detail you are to glean at this point.
I'm gonna use one of my white chip to re-roll that.
Okay. All right. That's very good. You got a raise.
Oh shoot!
Okay.
Nope, not better. I rolled twice.
So, you rolled twice. No, okay.
Yeah, 5,
so you got the
just a
same. Yeah,
5.
you just got
Yep,
a 5.
just
Okay,
5.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, you got the same. And yeah, you see on the actual material of this cloth bag itself, looks like it was stitched out of. There are a few kind of things drawn on it. It's not a major clue per se. It's in a couple things written out in kind of a a series of symbols that, for some reason, look vaguely familiar to you, but you're not exactly sure. But then pictures of ravens are also been drawn on it. And
Well, I'll take the bag with me.
yeah,
I'll just take it with me, and I'll probably show Doc at some point.
sure.
Yep. I'll walk back out, Willie. Ain't shit in there except this bag of symbols.
Bag of symbols,
Yeah.
like musical
Don't roll
symbols.
No, I'd say the demonic symbols. They're demons around this place. So I'm gonna show Doc at some point.
Yeah,
Steve, by the way, Steven rolled 2d20 for me.
Oh, okay, that's good. Too.
Months.
Willie takes a step back from Elijah.
Oh, this is all money, buddy.
Boom! The money explodes.
Okay,
Finally. That's what you get for looting.
Okay, yeah,
that's
it's
pathetic.
altogether. It was mostly coins. It altogether comes to a total of $9.
Okay, well, we only got $9. We can spend it at the bar. I
Well,
guess.
shit, we can give up this life of crime and retire.
You
Yeah.
shitting me?
Is Mr. Moon with us, or is he down in his cart?
He has been, yeah, he's been sort of. He went ahead and he brought the cart up because to kind of. Well, afterward he went ahead and he went back down to get the cart. He's brought it up to kind of, because he has a few supplies in there to kind of try to help out a little bit. Because there were some folks who they were in town that were a little bit injured. They weren't terribly, from everything that was going on. The crows and everything like that. They've been pecked at for quite some time. So he's kind of helping with that, and he's going around town he's going around being generally nice and Mormon to everyone.
Mm-hmm. Did you say Mormon?
Yeah. He's from Salt Lake City.
Wasn't here that episode.
Sorry. Yeah. Forgot to mention that one little detail. Yes, he's very clean cut.
Good detail to mention right now.
I will say on the trail, on the way, you sort of picked up that he was kind of almost annoyingly nice, and then you figured out why that was, and that basically.
I just changed my mind about something.
Okay.
I just want to go snoop in his cart. I just want to go look around.
Sure.
I haven't been in there.
Okay. My first question is, do you have the thievery skill by any chance?
No, I just have stealth.
Okay. Then I think what we're gonna do, you can probably he's not going to be expecting you to do that, so necessarily.
Yeah, and I'm not really trying to hide it. I'm literally
yeah.
just like walking in and looking around.
Yeah, go ahead and make a notice roll for me.
Okay.
8. Okay. So yeah, and I mean, it's like it's kind of, the thing's open, so you can see it's got a series of shelves that kind of slide out when he pulls the side down, and so there are a lot of some things are kind of locked up, but most of the stuff you see that they're like vials, reagents, things, but a lot of it's sort of alchemical stuff. There are a lot of raw chemicals. There are a lot of spare parts and stuff here. There are also, you'll see, there are a few. Apparently, from what you understand, there should be there are rounds of ammunition in here somewhere, but those are probably in one of the lock boxes. Let's see, you got an 8. You are going to notice kind of underneath it's something you wouldn't notice if you hadn't if you hadn't gone and looked under, and that is that there is, you think, just sort of near the lock boxes, there's actually one that's hidden underneath the the sort of the back end of the drawers that pull out. It's a smaller one that's right up sort of underneath, under like the middle of the cart. And it is also it's also got a padlock on it. But all the other lock boxes you could see. This one, for some reason, is concealed.
I do not have the lock picking skill.
Yeah, that's been folded into thievery, which is
Damn it.
the reasons I yeah.
Damn it. I know what I'm doing next time.
Yeah. I will say you did see another compartment that's not that's not like out of the way per se, but that's probably where the ghost rock is. He probably is. You think he's probably got some ghost rock cores in there. But anyway, sorry. Sorry.
What's the lockbox made of? Is it made of metal?
It is made of metal.
The cart has a door?
The cart itself, actually, the cart itself is not. It's not the kind of wagon you can get into. He's kind of he's adapted it so that pretty much most of it is just full of stuff. If you could get into it, I mean, yeah, there's like the a kind of a panel that if you pull off, you could like stand just behind where the drawers are pulled out, but it's been made mostly for a display and for him to stand next to it. He's got like camping gear and stuff in there. So he probably, you think, sleeps under the cart if he or either under the cart or on top of it when he's out on the road.
It was such a different image than I had. I swear I was picturing like Gabriel, like young Gabriel Byrne. No, I just got the other one in my head. Okay.
I couldn't think of anyone really, so that's what happened.
So, okay.
That's the one that just popped into your mind?
Okay.
Luke.
I don't know. It's just kind of there. Of those two brothers, the one I don't hate. Yes, there we go. Sure.
Love it.
So just like for a hypothetical, if someone very, very strong just wanted to like rip it out.
It might be possible to do it. If someone really, really strong wanted to rip that out, then I mean, it's just fastened on with a couple of bolts. So it'd be difficult, but it'd be doable.
I'll think about it later. But I'm glad I know about it.
Yeah. If you unfasten the bolts first, then maybe it'd be a little easier, but
I will think on it as I
of some kind.
Go find somewhere to sleep.
Alrighty. So they offer space in the bunkhouse if you want it. If not, they'll pretty much let you sleep any damn place you please. It's there because as far as they're concerned, everyone's a little afraid of you because there's this rumor going around that you're some kind of Raven Queen.
Yes. Finally.
They're concerned.
Fight me.
They're worried you're going to try to take Elder Grackle's place, so they're being very nice to you.
Why wouldn't they be? Very friendly.
That's right. The friendliest.
I go to sleep, damn it.
You sleep. What's everyone else doing?
Is there a road weary and I did a lot of fighting and killing today. Is there the opportunity for a bath in this here commune? Do they believe in
They
such?
do have a bathhouse, yes. that they will happily let you use. They will provide whatever you need for that for the most part. They also, I will say that Peacock has set up. She's got people ready if you know and in kind of an orderly queue for Erasmus should he desire to interview people. She's got the townsfolk kind of lined up for that. But yes, there's that. There's a bathhouse.
Elijah's gonna drink. He's because he don't like to sleep. He's not a sleeper, so
well, there is a kind of a
and he'll help Doc out. He'll kind of like be Doc's bodyguard. Like he kind of
yeah.
just like stands around Doc a little bit just to see what people are doing.
Yeah. So there is a sort of a mess hall type area. It's not. They do not serve alcohol. They do serve lemonade, and they serve water. But this is, you know, a spiritual community, and they did not want to. They did not want to include alcohol as part of what they were doing.
Well, what about like peyote aid? Do they have any of that?
Peyote aid.
Is that an 80s thing?
No, peyote's a hallucinogen thing.
You see the size of that chicken? What?
Let me flip through my castanata for a second. Let's see. Let me see. So if you're going to go looking for, if you want to go looking for seeing if anyone has illicit substances of any kind around here, you may certainly do so. This is kind of an asking around type thing. So my question is, do you want to sort of just ask people nicely, or do you want to go cave in people's faces until you find something?
My God, no, Jim! The hell?
That escalated quickly.
Right.
I should point out this is
wake me
this
up.
is a
Don't
mechanic.
give it to me.
I'll wake Val up. Let's get some
Wake me up.
party
Hey.
there. I'll wake up Val.
I just walk around. Do you have anything that makes me? Can I see Jesus? Do you have anything that?
All right,
You know.
excellent.
Who's letting Willie talk to folks?
I need you to make a persuasion roll for me, please.
I don't need to
So
make a
good at
persuasion
that.
roll at all. I shot a 31 at their
That's
Grand Poobah that was taken. I'll roll it.
well, that's how hunting for information works in Savage Worlds. It is a persuasion roll.
One day
as
I'll
you're-
use that
It's
edge.
either persuasion or intimidation. It's one of the two.
Oh, wait a minute.
Thus my question.
That's a horse of a different cut. No, I'm joking. I'll persuade.
Now let's lean on them.
That is a 7.
Okay. Let's see.
And yeah, just to answer in chat, Patrick, yes, Peyote 8 does have electrolytes. And Hawk, the Peyote 8 man. Oh, yeah, man.
Peyote crashes through the side of the.
He just busts through the walls of reality. It's not even like
Yeah.
a brick wall.
That's pretty much how it works. Yeah.
Right,
Dance of bears come through too.
right. Jerry, I've missed you.
So before I get lost in this wonderful alternate reality that we're creating,
No,
so you
Jim,
got a 7.
Jim, just
and,
so you know,
find- Mhm.
I'm not looking to like go on a vision quest. Okay. If anything, Willie is using this because he had an interesting experience when they were coming up through the wheat fields.
Yeah.
And so what he's going to do is, it's like if like a let's say that they've got a specific amount will take you on this grand vision quest. Like Willie wants to like lick that amount. He doesn't want to take it. He just wants to just get like a little
Wants to
bit.
take
So
it and
you
take a
so
little.
sorry, so Willie doesn't want to take it. He just wants to lick it?
Just wants to.
That's
a
his,
light
that's
little-
the thing he's third best at. Told you you'd find out this episode.
Well, as it happens, as you are looking around, kind of asking, it does seem as though you are directed to someone named Henrietta. And she is one of the local she's one of the local farmers, and she has sort of off to the side on the opposite side of sort of the wheat field, very on the other side of the barn. There's this little area where she grows certain things that she trades with some of the with some of the folks in the local Apache Nation, and she does in fact have some peyote.
Okay. But as this isn't Willie's first rodeo, he will acquire some of this, and he will, by determining through course of just his incredible knowledge of herbology, he will just deem what is a light dose.
So what is that? Is that common knowledge, Jim?
I think we're going to go with common knowledge.
I'm pretty sure it's shooting.
And share it with his friends.
Yeah, share it with your friends.
Sure, yeah. Common knowledge. Absolutely. Let's roll that. Oh!
7, okay.
You did it.
You did it.
So you measure out what you think is going to be a safe amount for you.
I'll take half of that.
Take half of that. You're going to hang out like in the bunkhouse, or sort of like on top of the barn, or somewhere.
No, yeah,
Where would
I mean,
you like to go?
He's going to take a bath. He wants to go to that bathhouse.
Oh, the bathhouse. Yeah, you hang out and take it to the bath.
He wants to take, like, if there's different levels, like, he wants to take, like, a McConaughey. He doesn't want to take, like, a Belushi. He wants
yes, good. That's good. That very, very precisely positions it for me. So, okay.
Don't you look at me, Pope.
I would like you to draw a card for me.
Oh, shit. Okay. Do I get to draw 2 and pick my favorite like I usually do?
This isn't that kind of draw.
Okay, where do I put it? Put it up here?
Yeah, you can.
Oh, shit, where'd it go?
Somewhere where I can see it.
Ace of clubs.
Ace of clubs. Okay.
That would seem to be good.
Do. Okay, clubs. All right.
I die.
Slightly.
Until California starts playing softly in the background.
Right?
That's all. It's all natural.
It is.
So, I would like to start by having you tell me about a some hardship that Willie overcame recently.
Well, in the very recent past, Willie had to sit back and let somebody else take the credit for doing a terrible amount of damage to a foe that they had. And it hurt Willie's pride a little bit, but he kept his lip buttoned because he wanted that person to feel special. And so he just needed to overcome that. And that's basically one of the reasons why he found this peyote drink that he has mixed up called Peyote Aid. And he is going to take a bath and drink his peyote and get knocked down and get back up again. I am
so you're going to we'll go with that. So your vision is sort of, as you're sort of lying there in the tub and the steam is coming up, you're kind of starting to see things in the steam, and you're seeing recent events that from earlier this evening a little bit. They're playing back in your mind, and as you're playing them back in your mind, you're seeing kind of like this situation where things are kind of, the steam is curling back and forth, and it almost sort of makes the shape of ravens kind of flying around. and you see as though like a large raven, and you see as though someone is, it looks like someone born aloft by ravens is racing up toward them with a knife of some kind. And sort of the moment contact is made, there's this bright flash of light. And you're going to once again see this field in front of you that seems to stretch on for quite a distance. And you kind of, you're going to, you see what looks like someone standing in the field. And you seem to be standing at the edge of it. Standing with arms outstretched.
Do I got my guns?
You got your guns, yeah.
I will approach said figure in said vision quest.
All right. You kind of hear something sort of from, it's a distorted voice from like off to your side. Sort of like, sounds kind of like, watch out for this one. It's tricky. It's a voice you sort of half recognize, but you're not sure who it is that's saying that to you. And as you come closer, you can see that it's that scarecrow again. You're sort of standing there, and you hear coming from the vicinity again of its painted face. It seems like it's still, as you keep getting closer, it does seem as though the distance to it keeps getting further away. So it's like once you get to a certain point and you can make out its features, getting closer doesn't seem to do anything. But you hear it. It says, things are in motion now. I applaud your efforts.
You ain't seen nothing yet.
What do you seek?
What every good gunfighter seeks. You know what that is, Scarecrow? It's to look down the way at somebody you know's better than you. Somebody that you know can jerk iron way faster than you. And then you kill that someone.
I feel as though you're speaking of someone specific.
Equal opportunity offer.
There are a lot of beings out there as can outdraw a human. But there's things as can put them down. But what you're asking for is dangerous information where I come from.
Who do you gotta be safe for?
Well, On this side of things, let's just say the rules are very different from what you might be used to. Spirit eats spirit out here. But as it happens, I am in the market for allies and assistance, and you have just taken out, at least for a while, one of my recent enemies. So, I am prepared to come to the bargaining table.
What is your offer, O great scarer of crows?
I can provide you with information on what you seek to take out. I can provide you with information on what you are going to face if you keep on your present course. We will meet again soon, and when we do, there will be something I will ask of you. Something to carry. Something I would like moved from one place to another. You do this for me, and when we next meet, I will provide you with that knowledge you seek.
Well, Scarecrow, you come to the table with your side of the bargain. See what we got. But until then, fuck off. I'm enjoying this bath.
Mortals would not been if so bold in the old days, but one must adjust, I reckon. And as it's sort of, there's a miasma coming up in front of you, you hear that other voice again distorted, saying, just sort of briefly saying, "Hell, don't do it." And you don't know this guy, like. And then it stops. And then you're in a lovely field of butterflies made of steam for a while, and all manner of things happen. Delightful, glorious visions, which we shall pan away from now.
Cuckoo, choo.
Absolutely. Sometimes you've got to be the eggplant. So that evening,
Pope said, "Where did this role play go today?"
You are stressing Pope out.
I didn't make a drink today.
Damn, Pope, have you met us? You need a
made a
drink.
terrible mistake.
So, Agent Hazard, you've got folks you want to question. Is there anything in particular you want to make sure we go over or happens as you are taking everyone's statements?
Honestly, this is the least glamorous and the least seen, but most vital part of being a member of the agency is taking witness statements, as boring and as awful as that is, as many times as necessary, so the next time that they get to a drop, all that paperwork gets filed. Like, when you shake hands with an agent, you will always notice that their dominant hand is mighty strong. It's not because they train, it's because of all the writing.
Absolutely. So they're absolutely gonna talk to you. and tell because you are they're very pleased you were there, but that you helped them, and so they're willing to help you any way they can. However, I am going to ask you to make a persuasion roll just so that I can see kind of the gauge the sort of usefulness of what you're getting. Oh, that's good. That's quite good. It's it's still just one raise, but it's still quite good. All right. So, you're going to get a significant level of detail. It's not, most of the stories are the same, so no one person particularly stands out necessarily. When you do eventually get to Peacock, she is going to try to make it as interesting as possible, her information as interesting as possible to you. She seems to really want, she kind of, you're getting the impression she kind of is trying to impress you. And because she herself took notes as things were going on, and apparently, so she kept a diary and hid it while all this was going on. So she actually has it with her when she comes to give you her side of the story. So that's going to have the most information. But in general, up until you get to her, do you go ahead and question her last as was requested, or do you or do you just throw her in at some point?
I will question her last as was requested. I am following everything by the book, which is if people want stuff from you, as long as it's not crossing any governmental lines or protocol, you give them what they want.
Perfectly fine. Yeah. The interesting thing about this place is they're not really looking for bribes or anything like that. They kind of want, they're hoping they're going to get help getting set back up again with getting things rotated to where they need it. As far as, but as far as, the fact that they're, that all the crops they were having to grow and everything was sort of directed toward a specific goal. But so they kind of want to get back to what they were doing, which is be able to be self-sufficient, which they largely were. But they're going to have to rotate out their livestock, and they're hoping for help with that. But they don't actually, they're not really looking for a handout because they're wanting to be their own thing. So it's very much their, you see that they are trusting of you personally, but not necessarily the government for which you are working. I will put it that way. So you get a significant amount of details. Seems that it was about a year ago that Elder Grackle showed up. Fellow showed up calling himself Elder Grackle, Elder Dionysius Grackle. And he essentially showed up and said that if they did not they did not provide the Great Raven a sacrifice, and the Great Crow, the Great Crow. I've been transposing ravens and crows tonight, haven't I? Crows. It's all crows. Tonight it's all crows. That's an important distinction in this setting. But
you don't say.
Oh yeah, just a little bit.
But Jim, I like Raven Queen more than Crow Queen.
That's fair.
You don't want to be the Raven Queen.
You don't
yes,
want
I
to be
do.
Not in this setting, you don't.
God damn it.
Well, I mean, we can work toward it. But
yeah, by all means, arrange that. That's gotta be great.
Let's rope the Ravenites into this, shall we? But
no idea what you're talking about.
Anyway, no worries. We'll find out soon enough. No, but the crows specifically. So the thing that happened, obviously they talk about it, and they didn't want to make the sacrifices. Anyone who didn't was killed. And basically the crows seem to be eternally under Grackle's command. This was the first time he'd basically told them about the scavenger. This was the first time they saw the scavenger directly. necessarily. They would hear it sometimes at night. Sometimes people were carried off by it. From what they understand, they would go missing. That's, they would never come back. Anyone who tried to run was carried back by the crows. And so that's the main information that you get. It's very much seemed like a local thing. They don't know where he came from.
Spiritual
But-
entity tied to animals. Probably regional Manitou. See if the agency can send down like some holy folks here to sanctify grounds and provide local supports. Suggest that undercover agent come by every 6 months to make sure everything's okay.
All right. Well, you're going to be able to get that off. If you want, you can dispatch that off by pigeon. But I will tell you that when you get to Peacock, she will elaborate a little bit. She had a few theories, just sort of looking at the patterns of the crows and everything that had happened. It seemed to her that when Grackle first arrived, there was very much a kid in a candy store thing going on with him. He was very much, it's like she got this sense as he came, when he first arrived in town, he had the sack over his shoulder, and she had this sense that he was, from some things that he said offhandedly, as though he'd been kind of unleashed. There was something he could do now. He was his own boss. It's kind of that sense that she was getting from him. So she kind of is theorized that she knows a little bit about the Manitous, not a lot, but she theorizes that if there was involvement there, if he was powered in some way by that whoever it was that they were working for, either is no more or was no longer in a position to extend their influence from the hunting grounds on them.
Okay, so to classify summoned spiritual entity local, came unbound, wreaked havoc. So just add that into notes. Definite signs of multiple practitioners in the area. Would suggest there being a regular contractor patrol sent out around these parts once a quarter, as well as the direct stop-in by disguised agents every 6 months to here.
All right. Is that basically all you're wanting to do as far as the interviews go?
Yeah, it's very much like he is just doing all this paperwork, taking all these notes, writing a encrypted report, going to hand it to Ms. Peacock to be sent by first pigeon, and then as there is weird stuff going to happen, he is going to quickly go to sleep.
Well, here's the thing. When you, I will say that when you finish writing the report, and you turn to hand it to Miss Peacock, you've been sitting in this sort of area in the corner of sort of their mess hall, and she's been sort of sitting by your side. When you turn to hand it to her, you see standing behind her is Val.
Hi, Doc.
Hi, Miss DuPont. Would you like to make a statement?
You wanted to talk to me alone.
Yes.
She winks at Peacock.
Oh.
If you wouldn't mind, Miss Peacock, that would be most helpful. You can, by all means, file that. This is going to be a thing.
You see that she perhaps looks slightly disappointed for some reason, and she gets up and she nods and she heads out.
Hi, Mr. Pot.
Hi.
Okay, so now that we're relatively alone,
We could be more alone. You want to go for a walk in the pale moonlight?
Given everything that's transpired, I prefer to be indoors. All of a sudden, his like he's got his writing materials, but for just one slight moment, he just like quickly just pads over his vest where the brass knucks are, and then goes back to
Please.
his pad and paper. So you obviously have dabbled with the supernatural, given your place of original residence, along with your brother. A number of things could have come across, or you could have come across. Do you have a particular title as to what you do? Commune with spirits? You obviously have some sort of tie-in with animals, but I'm not certain as to what.
I think they just like me.
I see. This is how we're doing this.
How would you like to do it?
Honestly, I'm trying to be as straightforward with you as I can.
Oh, just now. Federal
Yes.
agent, so from to not and not at all before.
I wish I could divulge everything, Miss DuPont. I really could. That would make life so much simpler, but I'd be violating so many different codes. I'd probably, be damned to hell just by paperwork alone.
You lead a very different life from myself.
Yes, precisely. You're not the first practitioner I've run into. All right, I've helped out a few folks over at the Lady Luck Society. I know what a huckster is. I know about Hoyle. I know that our Professor Moon is trafficking with individuals who would also be better off dead. But
So we're saying he's okay to, for example, rob.
I wouldn't rob the man. As much as he rubs me the wrong way, I wouldn't necessarily.
Didn't know you two
I'll
were
put it
that
this
close.
way. If something unfortunate were to happen to Mr. Moon that were not of our own making, there wouldn't be any problems. And considering we're traveling in very dangerous terms, his chances of survival by the very nature of everything we're doing are quite low. So after the fact is fine. It's during that's the problem.
Yes, I often find it to be the opposite. During is fine.
But I have yet to see a practitioner do what you do without talismans or a focus.
What is it you think I practice?
Well, you obviously have some sort of, for lack of better term, magical capability. Quality? I mean, considering where you and your brother come from, Voodoo is openly practiced, and anyone who observed the Rail Wars knows what that can do. There's spiritual shamanism practiced by all the different native nations, mad science, for lack of a better term, which I doubt you do, but there's all sorts of weirdness out here that we're still trying to all quantify and get a handle on so people can just be safe.
Which people can be safe?
Citizens of the United States. Look.
Including these practitioners?
Yes.
That you are cataloging for the government?
Yes. I'll put it this way. there are a number of practitioners that are already licensed contractors, people who are actually working up the ranks. I met some when I was working in Salem. And then there are folks that, can do some sort of strange kick in San Francisco and a green dragon erupts from their heels and eats someone. Like, there's an importance here to be able to figure out and get an idea of what got unleashed in this world and be able to protect everyone and be able to live in it with everyone. I mean, there's certain taboos that certain practitioners have that they don't even realize, and when they violate it, all of a sudden something takes them over and they wreak havoc. That was what, Dodge City 2 years ago? Like, I'm just trying to help. That's honestly all I'm trying to do, Mr. Pond.
All right.
So, what's your story?
Stay alive a little longer, you might find out.
Okay, I'll put you under practitioner undefined until further report.
Is he writing that down?
Yes.
Okay, she reaches forward and tears out the page you're writing on.
Okay. Do you want me to clarify this?
No, I don't want you to write down my name. It wasn't really the most accurate surname either.
Okay. I'm always open for more information.
I can tell that about you.
Again, I'm going to be forthright, Mr. Pod. You are already on file by other agents within the agency. You have your own file. I'm just adding to it.
Is it a big one?
It's not insignificant.
I like that. Not insignificant.
Here, since I know sibling rivalry is the thing with you, it's much larger than your brother's.
Is it larger than Willie's?
Unfortunately, no. Mr. Kenner has been very forthwith with a lot of information. You could easily catch up with him if you're willing to give me something to write. Maybe even surpass him.
I would like to be better at him at yet another thing, but I will take it under advisement.
All right.
Good night.
Good night, Miss DuPont.
So,
And once she's gone, right.
it's more stuff.
Valentine DuPont, practitioner undefined.
All right. Is there anything else anyone wants to do that evening? Marshall, was there anything else you needed to take care of?
Yeah, I'm good. He's probably drunk.
So I should point out, like I said, there's no bar here per se, but if you've got your own, you're certainly more than welcome to drink it. They won't stop
he
you.
would probably go invest with Moon too to see.
Oh
if he
yeah,
has
Moon's got
anything.
some stuff.
Yeah.
Well, actually, no, he's Mormon. What the heck? No, he doesn't actually have any.
He wouldn't even have coffee.
Oh my God.
He
Why
doesn't
is he
have
with
coffee
us?
or alcohol.
He's dead to me then.
But he's. However,
He has his own.
Reverend
Elijah has
Baines
bottles.
does have a flask.
He bought the bottle of tequila. He took that with him.
Yeah.
Believe me.
Yeah,
He
you've got the Rattler tequila.
Yeah.
So yeah, you've got tequila made from a tiny sliver of a giant worm, many stories tall, and
I didn't know that.
Yeah, Mojave rattlers are really big. They're really, really big. Many buildings high, but well, long, more ideally. Anyway, yeah, but enough of that. Yeah, so you all spend the night peacefully, and I think that is, since we're near the hour, I think that might be where we're going to leave off. I will, as we can leave off fairly. I'll give you one little thing. Do we want to leave off peacefully, or do we want to leave off with a touch of blood?
Blood.
Damn, Jim! Blood!
There will be
Blood,
blood.
blood,
There will be
blood.
blood.
The next morning, you get up, you get out on the road once more.
The road to desperation.
The road south to Desperation along the old
The
miners'
one we were
road.
supposed to go on like 2 hours ago.
And you are bid a fond farewell by this community. I will say that briefly, would Erasmus please make a notice roll for me? Okay. So
I'll spin a chip on that.
okay.
I'll spin a chip on that.
Sure.
All right, let's spin a blue chip then.
Okay.
There we go.
All right. Yeah. As you are leaving, as you're getting ready to leave, you Peacock Ferns talks to you one more time, and she's just sort of very, again, she's very interested in a lot of different things, and she actually does seem to know a lot about just ornithology and just sort of animal biology and things of that nature. So it does occur to you she might come in handy in certain circumstances where you might need a consultant who is an expert in those areas. She seems to have possibly seen one or two monsters in the past as well. You also get the feeling that she doesn't want you to leave. She seems very interested in you specifically not leaving, but she understands that you must.
I bid her a fond adieu. I give her both the address to the gambling hall, the Fives over in Desperation, as well as my academic office back at Yale.
She will give you a slim volume of poetry.
Okay.
You folks head out, you get on the road.
Can Elijah invite her to come along?
No.
If you do you?
I am not putting this woman in danger.
No. That is a trap. No.
Might like it in Desperation.
I do want to, as we're going, as Jim is about to drop some bomb on us, I do want to sidle up to Doc again. Doc,
Yes, Miss DuPont?
if we had a more forthcoming chat, do you think I could read that big old Willie Kenner file?
I will put it this way, Miss DuPont. I can't give you the file, but I can give you my personal notes.
You do seem like you're real good at note taking.
Well, as Willie would say, I'm a bit biblical.
He uses more colorful language around me.
I think that Miss Ferns has duties that she has to in the commune, but she is considering coming to visit. You head out. You head along the road south, and something that you notice on the way south as you pass a few farmsteads and the day gets later and later is it seems as though there's one farmstead as you come across, and there seems to be like on their fencing seems to be sort of like not utterly soaked, but there's like traces blood coming down a couple of the fences. And those farmsteads seem utterly bereft of anything.
Is there anything stuck on top of the fences?
Just seems like dried blood. A little bit. But what you do see, as you do hear some activity way down the road, you see the farmstead of an acquaintance of the marshal, Jerome Archibald Stanton. And that is where we are going to end for the evening.
Holy shit.
Well, that was a good time.
Yay.
Bird call.
All right. Well, folks, thank you very much once again for playing. I like these sort of in between sessions so we can dig into that character stuff and just sort of see what makes everyone tick. They are always a delight for me. We're gonna go ahead then and go around and do our outros and see where folks are, how they're doing, and where folks can find them. And as is tradition, we shall start with Pope.
Hey everybody, Pope here. Pope World Build on the Twitter, Pope World Build on the Twitch. I lurk in all your streams. This was an absolute delight. We got a lot of great character work tonight, a lot of insight on folks, and one hell of a peyote-fueled vision. If you want to see more of my silly face as the year comes to a close, you can catch me this Sunday over on Matev7's channel as we get down with the neon for the dreadful beat of DJ Strahd. And into the new year, you will see me again here on this channel, but I will let Greg expound more on that twisted tale. But I want to thank each and every one of you here, my wonderful castmates, Jim, folks in chat. If you're joining us live, if you're here for the VOD, if you're watching on YouTube, you're as much part of the story as we are. Thank you so much for being a part of it. And I hope you all have a safe and lovely holiday and a bright and beautiful new year. You all take care. Love you all.
Awesome. And let us head over to Stephen.
Hey everybody, I had a blast tonight. It was we set out to get somewhere and we literally went nowhere, but it was great. I loved every minute of it. I love the paperwork thing, because that's what I do at my work. When I have incidents and problems, witness statements and paperwork is the worst. So it really is. But everybody, thank you for watching. Have a happy, well, I'll say it again, have a happy holidays. Enjoy yourself, drink, have fun, be merry, do things that I wouldn't do, or do things you want to do, or whatever. Have a good one. You did a great job too, Jim.
Thank you. And thank you so much for your patience. Also, this is a bit of a, sometimes we got to have a quieter session, but also I loved your story at the beginning, and really awesome scene there.
Thank
Very
you.
cool. And hey, Lauren.
What's up, Jim? How's it going?
It's going.
Yeah, nice. Good. Hi, I'm Lauren. I'm Not Salty Ginger over on the Twitter. I'm part of the Tales from the Grim team here on the Twitch. And we've got a lot of stuff coming up. I'm here usually on Sundays, Mondays, some Wednesdays in January. And that's about it for me for now. Happy holidays.
Yay! Very cool scenes, by the way, today. I think this was, I really liked the scenes that you were doing. This was really nice. Before I throw things back over to Greg, as for me, I'm Jim. I am OtherDoc on both Twitch and Twitter. My website is jim.com, where you can find links to my various podcasts and audio dramas, various other things, and also links to game signups when I have those running. For the next little bit, I'm actually taking a break for the next week or so. I kind of realized that I haven't taken any non-traveling, non-medical break since I started streaming in July of 2018. So I should probably do that. So I'm gonna take a little time off, but we'll be back in January. Once again, in January doing this on my channel, I'm going to be running more Invisible Sun. And I've got more shows starting up in January on my channel. There's a game of Masks that's going to be run there. And also, I am going to announce it here first, specifically what it is. A game of Dark Matter will be starting near the end of January. This game we haven't really tried on the channel yet. Uses rules from it's called, I think, Dungeons and Dragons. I think it uses that rule set. I think I'm not entirely sure, but we're taking our GM is taking the Ghosts of Saltmarsh and moving it into space, basically with the Dark Matter setting. So we're going to take a stab at that and see how that goes. So that, and of course, various one-shots and various other short campaigns are going to be happening as well. Look for that in the future. But for now, I shall rest for a bit. Happy Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, Bodernal, Yuladanovis to you all. Take care.
Fantastic, my friend, fantastic. As for me, I am Grimjack21502 on the Twitter, part of the Tales from the Grim team here on the Twitch. A lot of fun things coming up in the new year. We have the aforementioned, hinted at show, I should say, from Pope. It is Watchmen. We have a Watchmen series coming in with 10 members of the Legion across casts and all kinds of fun things. Will be joining us as 10 super individuals who are conscripted by the US government to stop the Russian attack, or the Soviet attack, I should say, on America back in October 31st, November 1st, and November 2nd of 1985. Fans of the Watchmen will know these are the 3 days leading up to the Squid event in Manhattan. But the rest of the world didn't know about that, so we have Watchmen showing up. We also obviously have the continuation of the Road to Desperation. We have my 5e, I think it was that Dungeons and Dragons thing Jim was hinting at earlier. That comes on Monday, starting at 6, called The Realms Remembered. And then also starting about mid-January, we will have our very first Witcher campaign. It is called Witcher Family of Wraiths. And we have a lot of fun things to announce about that. A formal cast announcement will be coming out quite soon. But until then, I'd like to just reflect all the sentiments from this fantastic cast. One, I would like to tell Little Red Dot, have a fantastic holiday season. We miss her. We can't wait to have our good sister back. And for all of these great folks that hang out on Monday evenings, I love them all very much. Jim, you have done a fantastic job so far in this weird Western tale, and I love it quite a bit. Legion, you're a fantastic group. Whether you're watching live on VOD or on YouTube, your eyeballs, your passion, and your appreciation is appreciated by us. But as 2019 rolls to a close, give a toast to that was, and look forward to the perfect vision of 2020. Let it be whatever you would like it to be, and send a toast from all of us to you and yours. May next year be better than this one, but make sure you join us for the tales. We're going to try to make them better next year as well. And as the campfire goes down, there is only one thing left to say. You can't always roll nat 20s, But by God, when you got friends like these, you can always role play. We'll see you next time, friends.